So, how's it going? So this is the first episode of me actually digging through my collection of books and going ahead and reviewing it. Um, so I guess I'm a huge Kirby fan, and I probably have most of the books that are referenced in this artist edition. Um, I think this is my favorite period of Kirby's career. And by the way, this edition was given to me by one of my favorite comic shops, BSI Comics in Metairie, Louisiana. Um, Actually, specifically one of my friends, Fletch Boogie. And so anyway, back to Kirby. Kirby was a huge influence on uh, on my style and the way I lay out and do my panel work in my books. You can check out my books on Indiegogo. I have Rockabilly Road Trip and also uh, Doc Salem coming out in a month or so. So anyway, back to it. Uh, so uh, yeah, um, Kirby was you know before he passed. Actually, still is one of my favorite artists. Now, I can tell you this: like the genius of Kirby wasn't in his like the visual presence of well, let me rephrase that. Like the actual look of his artwork. It was in the way he well, you heard that pages are still cracking. I haven't cracked this thing open in a good while. So yeah, Kirby's actual genius was in his layouts and his theory behind comics. That's one thing I can say. Like, there's a legend that Kirby never really sketched. He just drew. And I'm looking at these pages, and there's no sketch lines anywheres on here. As far as now, I know they erase them to go ahead, but even though there's usually a stain on a page or something, but there's nothing like at all. Um, I mean, every now and then you might see some action lines or something like that that they forgot to erase or that stained the page. Mainly, the only actual lines that I'm seeing on here, like as far as sketch lines or anything else, is or his well the letter because the letter goes in. He puts down his guidelines to go ahead and make sure the letters are straight and even and all that kind of stuff. That's it, dude. Like, yeah, this is definitely my favorite run of Kirby. You could tell, like, he was concerned about speed on this, but he actually had fun with it. And this wasn't nowhere near the end of his career. I mean, look at this. It's craziness. And he definitely had that Hanna-Barbera type of animated style going on when he was doing all of this. But then again, from what I know about Kirby, like Kirby was he was an employee over at I think Hanna-Barbera or some animation studio back then, and I know for a fact he was involved with Thunder the Barbarian and different things like that, and as well as Frank Frazetta was involved with that. But I have to admit, like, I think he did do that automatic drawing crap when they just draw. Like, they see everything in their head and they just basically project it and go ahead and trace it onto the page. Looks like he wrote that in crayon. I'm going to get lost in this shit and forget to go ahead and narrate while I'm going through this. Pitfalls. Yeah, this is amazing. It's great work. I don't know how much I can actually show this before get a strike. Let me skip a couple of pages forward. See if we can get to another cover. And actually just see this tape and whiteout marks and crap like that. And a signature. Check that out. I guess they never transferred that over into ink. Bastard fucks. What do we got here? Second floor, Madison Avenue, New York. Journey into Mystery. Interesting. Yeah, he was definitely a master. Trips me out because we got perspectives like up in here, and there's no lines, nothing to go ahead and indicate that he actually used perspective points or anything like that. Like that just trips me out. I mean, right here you see where he started putting his action lines coming up like this, but then he decided to go and make it flow with the art. And he wasn't using a lot of blocky blacks like he did towards the end of his career. Like if you notice around Thor 162, 165, when he was on the end of his Thor run, his style streamlined a lot, and he wasn't using these brush strokes on his work. And his muscle definition was way better too, like insanely better than what it was towards the end of his career. I know he was going for speed at that point, but I think he was going for speed here. But I don't know. It's like he had much more quality to his work. I think that was taken from a reprinted page. I don't think that's the actual. No, that's not post-production. To kill a thunder god. Oh, it's craziness, dude. Insane. Coffee stain. I love the notes they put on the side right here. They had a journey. Oh, shit. They had a journey and a mystery stamp. Some of my pages look like this. With all the notes put on the side. Like, hey, doctor's appointment, blah, blah, blah. Gotta go pick up this at this time. Check out this movie I was suggested to you. Blah. Oh, shit. Hold on. This is the first time I've seen any sketch lines. Yeah. Check that shit out. So this is really roughed out. Huh. Okay. Like what I mean by sketch lines, I mean breakdowns. Like you go ahead and you put structure in before you start drawing a figure. Well, this is the first time I'm seeing any type of structure from Kirby. Interesting. Look at that shit. Alex Todd thinks you're hard out. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get some more people into this motherfucker. All right. Here's some more sketch lines over here, which is interesting. Yeah. So maybe Kirby wasn't the doing the automatic drawing stuff that I thought he did. Like I know he had. I know it's supposed to be legend that he would start at one end of the page and just start drawing until you got to the other. Well, one end of the panel and start drawing until you got to the other side. But I don't know anymore, dude. Like, I mean, I'll be honest, this is the first time I've actually delved deep into this book and actually analyzed it. Again, more structure. Oh, that's so fantastic. Look at this shit right here. Yeah, but again, there's more structure. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, maybe he did have his moments where he would just auto draw, but I mean, I'm seeing structure. So that means that he was planning stuff out before he actually did his panels, which doesn't take anything away from him. I mean, he was a phenomenal artist, comic book artist. It took me a long time to get into Kirby. Like as a youth, I visually it wasn't as pleasing as the stuff that was out at the time. Like but they ended up like Image was out and I was, they just started putting out shit and I was like, God damn, like this is the greatest thing ever. It was style on top of style, action on top of action. But all those guys learned from Kirby. It wasn't until later on that I was drawn to his work and to try and get into his head a little bit, try and get a little creativity, see where he was going. But one thing, like these bird's eye views he's doing, he's not planning out with perspective points. Like he's just going. So maybe he did use a little structure on his characters, but as far as stuff like this, like he just drew, dude. There's total freedom in his work. Skip ahead a little bit. Thor 134. I love his machinery too. Like those things were fucking awesome, dude. I think in one of the Eternals books, he did this demonic flying Cadillac. It was insane. I wish they would have kept these. And his machinery. I think that's why he did comics, so he can play with machinery. It wasn't really about the figures. Because he always enjoyed doing stuff like that, like buildings and shit like that. It was nuts, dude. Well, he liked doing it the way he did it. And that's my fiance yelling at the dog. Oh. Look at that shit. Jesus Christ, dude. But then again, that could have came from him being an animator. But then again, it could have came from him fucking knocking out 10,000, 20,000 pages. Because by this time in his career, he had put out those romance books. He put out like Captain America. Yeah, I mean, it was nuts, dude. Like he put out a ton of shit. He was working on Silver Streak, The Blue Beetle. He put westerns out, crime fiction. Craziness. Again, structure. From what I heard, like Marvel went the same way as what was that English publisher? I can't remember. Anyway, like they used Kirby's pages to go ahead and sop up water, Probably got stolen, a few of them. Some of them were just trash, thrown away. I've even heard rumors that they took Kirby's pages and actually used it to insulate walls over at their warehouse and the offices and stuff like that. If that's the case, that's just fucked up, dude. Look at this shit right here. Oh my god, dude. That's insane. And I have to say, like, this book is quality. Like, each one of these pages is badass. Heavy stock paper. I wonder where they found these pages at, though. Like, that just trips me out. Like, there's gonna be some badass collector out there with $1 million collection, $1 billion collection, actually. This is so badass. I love this heavy inks on blacks. The composition on his work was insane. Yeah, look at all this. It's all the letter coming back in and going ahead and putting his letters in. I think Kirby was a very clean artist too. Like he did use structure, but he never used a lot of it. Like you can see hints of it every now and then. Looks like he was kind of a messy eater as well. And I think they used acetate for a lot of this stuff back in the day. There was no photocopying machines or anything like that. Usually they use stat cameras. After they finish pasting everything up, they go ahead and shoot some clear film, do their colors, all kinds of crap like that. Young Thor. I love his space scenes. That's one thing I do incorporate into my work. His Kirby crackle and the way he did his planets. It's always fun, dude. It's one thing that's missing from modern comics. It's fun. Everything's way too serious. Definitely had that Hanna-Barbera look to his work. Oh, that's a badass scene right there. Got these giant ass guardians on these fucking ponies. All stag. I love these scenes right here. I love how he does full body. Yeah. If you notice, he does a lot of that, like from page to page. That's one thing I'll try to incorporate into my work too, is not do a lot of close-ups and far away versions like Marvel does. I mean, it does add to the story, but I also like every now and then to throw some full bodies into the panels. Yeah, I got an extensive Thor collection from I tried to get 100 to 200, mainly because that's where they introduce a lot of new characters. I think, excuse me, I think that was a method by Marvel back then. Like it was key issues were the first few issues that they put out, and they kept that train rolling. Then they gradually like let off on the pedal. Yeah. So all the way up until 120, they were introducing new characters, you know, and then they started slacking off at that point. I can't afford anything from 83 to 100. I do have a few issues in the 90s, but that's about it. I'm talking about Journey into Mystery. Ton of whiteout. Jesus. That was the genius of Kirby. It wasn't the look, like his style. The style wasn't the genius. It was how he conveyed his the way he told a story. You know, the way he interpreted action onto a page. Look at that. The way he used extreme movements. Like motherfucker cranked it up to 11. Look at this one right here. This is fantastic. The hammer hits, reflects, but he manages to fit all that into this panel, and he breaks the panel. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, back then you weren't supposed to do shit like that. Yeah. God damn, fucking letter. It's tearing these pages up, son. Oh, that's a beautiful shot right here, too. All right, it's cover work. Sure. Gallery section. All right. This is a really nice book. I really dig this book. Huh. It's interesting. I wonder if there was a head there before, because this is pasted in. Like the first appearance of Ego, the Living Planets. I got a copy of that, but it's just a space holder. It's all fucked up. It's a shame he couldn't keep most of his work when it came to this. For his pages, his original art and shit like that. Because these pages are phenomenal, dude. Yeah, this was definitely the height of his career right here. I mean, artistic wise. You can tell he had a deep love for this character. We're at 142 and just check this shit out. Yeah, look. Structure lawns. He never used a lot of them, but he used some. I mean, yeah, he had his fails. Guy wasn't perfect, but he was as close as you're gonna get to it at that time. Love how he used those ghost images too. Here we go. There's his name, Jack Kirby. Shit. No, this is not Kirby. Is it? No. No, this ain't Kirby's work. I got this issue. That's what the hell is this doing in here? Yeah, there we go. Journey into Mystery 83. more structure lines. Tales of Osgold. Oh, this is badass. I love this shit. Oh, that's badass. Such a powerful scene. Another one of my favorite splash pages of his. Typing splash. I actually enjoyed the way Kirby did his women back then too. Hell, I think they could stand up now. Joe Sinnott. That's who I think that was. I don't think that was Kirby that did that page. Pretty sure that was the Sinnott page. He did illustrate every now and then. Shit. Back then there was an innocence to his work. Like there was a safety in it. $107. That's a beautiful panel right here. He had a way of manipulating the figure without messing with the camera angle that just worked. God damn, that's as dynamic as it gets right there, son. Yeah, this is a beautiful book. It definitely does justice to Kirby's work. I wish it hadn't cut off the sides so much. I want to see more of the notes and shit like that he made, on each page. I found that shit interesting. Yeah, like it's kind of a look into the past, like what was going on at the time a little bit, Oh, that's amazing. They got those expressions. Jesus. Again, working the panel, like working that figure into the panel. Oh, that's it. Look how big this fucking book is, too. Jesus Christ, dude. Here's a regular comic. And this is the book. Jesus fuck. This is Ruggedly Road Trip. Check it out on Kickstarter. Indiegogo. We got a pretty good amount of time left. We're about we're a little over 50% to the end of the campaign. We got a nice big Jack the King Kirby. I love that everything is flat black except for the panel work he did right here. It's crazy. And his name. And also Doc Salem. Wait a minute. What's this over? I think if I had a guess, I'm thinking Kirby used more of a figure drawing technique with hints of structure. That's what I'm guessing. Like, it's basically like when you draw with a figure drawing technique, you're not actually just making shapes. You're like actually doing a whole piece in a rough outline and then going back and just tightening shit up until you get to this point. I think that's what Kirby did. All right, let me get to the front. I don't want to slam this thing shut. Fucking thing's expensive. Oof, missed this one. Oh, damn, what the hell were they thinking here? All right, well, thanks for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe if you like what I'm spitting. I think next we might do either John Byrne or Walter Simonson, or dig a little deeper into some indie books that were out at the time. All right, thanks. Talk to you later.